Hey everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to episode number 26 of my slasher movie archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for Valentine, released in 2001. Remember that kid everybody ignored on Valentine's Day? He remembers you. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Revenge is sweet just like Valentine's Day chocolates. At least that's what a vengeful Cupid-masked killer thinks. Be my Valentine or else. Broken hearts and other moral wounds await a cast of contemporary young stars when they play dating scene veterans dying for love in this humor-laced, twist-filled thriller. Cards, candy, and flowers are nice, but for fans of stalker, shocker, terror, there's nothing like a Valentine. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. I remember going to the theater and seeing Valentine when it was originally released. I was really excited to see this movie, as I always am when seeing slasher movies in the theater. This movie did not disappoint, and I have always been a fan of Valentine ever since that theater experience. For me, it still holds up to this day. In fact, it's still one of my all-time favorite slasher movies from this time period. From the mid to late 90s to the early to mid 2000s, Valentine is still right there among the best slasher movies from this time period, in my opinion. I have always been a big fan of slasher movies that are themed around a calendar event. With love in the air and expectations set high, and with disappointment and rejection, Valentine's Day is the ultimate holiday to base a slasher movie off of. Of course, this is not the first time it's been done, and I'm a little surprised that it hasn't been attempted more. I just really love how this particular slasher movie is set up. The movie opens up at a Valentine's dance where we have young Jeremy Milton going from girl to girl trying to get a dance, all the while getting rejected by each one. Now these girls are the popular kids. They wouldn't be caught dead being seen with Jeremy Milton. They make fun of him and they reject him, all but Kate, who turns him down easy. Jeremy eventually ends up making out with Dorothy behind the bleachers. Now, Dorothy at this point is a little bit of an outcast herself, but she does end up being friends with the popular pretty girls. Dorothy and Jeremy are caught making out, and to save face, Dorothy lies and says Jeremy attacked her. This leads to Jeremy getting stripped down to his underwear and humiliated in front of everybody at the dance, and then he gets the beatdown of his life. All the while, a Cupid mask wearing spectator looks on, and it's with this our revenge storyline has been set up. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the characters we have in Valentine. Now, after the opening sequence that takes place at the Valentine's dance, we follow the same group of girls as adults, as they continue to seek love and romance. We have Kate, who is the polite, level-headed one of the group. She has a on and off again relationship with Adam due to his past drinking problems. Adam is doing everything he can to right the wrongs with Kate so they can be together. Kate's friends consist of Shelley, Paige, Lily, and Dorothy. They all have their own personality traits. Kate is the popular one, Shelley is the brainy one, Paige is the sexy one, Lily is the fun one, and we have Dorothy, who describes herself as the fat one. The girls begin to receive disturbing and threatening Valentine's cards. I find them to be very clever. One of them reads, "The journey of love is a Doris trick. My love for you grows as you bleed from your neck." Another one reads, "Roses are red, violets are blue. They'll need dental records to identify you." All of the Valentine's cards are initialed with JM, and at this point in these girls' lives, they have encountered several people over the years with the initials JM in their names. But it doesn't take them very long to suspect Jeremy Milton, considering how poorly they treated him years before. We also have Police Detective Vaughn, who's trying to figure out who's doing the killing. Detective Vaughn also has a thing for Paige. Overall, I really enjoyed the characters we have in Valentine, even with this being a popular group of girls, your typical privileged, uppity types. They were still a lot of fun to watch because the dialogue was well written for what they were going for, and I thought the acting was really good. The character development was definitely there. You're not going to get these characters mixed up or be confused on who's who. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. This is one of those slasher movies where I feel like they nailed everything about the killer. Everything from the way he looked to even the way he moved on screen was perfectly set up, in my opinion. The killer has a really good backstory that perfectly sets up the revenge storyline. I really love the cherub mask that the killer wears. It's such a fantastic slasher villain design, and this is definitely one of my all-time favorite slasher movie villains. I love how we get to see the mask in the opening sequence at the Valentine's dance, and then later on, it's what the killer uses to strike fear into the hearts of his victims. It's very effective. The killer also has what I can only describe as a calling card of sorts. Of course, he leaves the morbid Valentine's cards that I had mentioned before, but what I'm referring to now is that when the killer is in the process of murdering his victims, he will actually have blood dripping from his nose. I think that that's a neat little detail that adds to the overall intensity of each death scene. And as far as the kills go in this movie, it has a pretty solid body count. We get around 8 kills. There's 2 off-screen kills, and normally I kind of look down on off-screen kills. But here with this movie, they are put to good use because the off-screen kills are actually used in an effective way, with either revealing story details to us or just simply setting up the next scene in a meaningful way. Hopefully that makes sense. I know a lot of times in slasher movies, a person will go missing to only pop up later on dead, leaving no real impact on the overall story or what's actually going on. Here, the off-screen kills are actually used to build plot details or to simply set up the next kill sequence. The movie does have some fun and creative kills. We have people getting stabbed, axed, a person gets killed with some broken glass, we have a bow and arrow kill, we have a person getting electrocuted with a power drill. So we do have a pretty wide variety of kills. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was the detail that was put into each of the stock sequences. Details that add to the overall intensity of each kill. The kills were very well set up and a lot of fun to watch. I also wanted to mention the score because the movie has a fantastic score that sets the overall tone of the movie. The movie also has a fantastic soundtrack that features songs in the movie by the Deftones, Disturbed, Orgy, and even Marilyn Manson. Overall, I really enjoyed Valentine. It's definitely one of my favorite slasher movies. If you haven't seen it and you like slasher movies, then I highly recommend this one. IMDb give it a 4.9. I'm going to give it a 8.5. Remember, evil never dies. It just rests a while. It watches. It waits. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you have seen Valentine, or just let me know what you think about my review. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.